Hey guys, we are going to make, or at least start making, this large granny square today. We are going to make this part of the granny square. So it's rows 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to start off with our circle. So make a slip knot. And then you are going to chain 5. And if you need help with your slip knot, I have a video on just the slip knot. So that's chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to come into this first V right here with your hook and grab your yarn. You're going to yarn over and pull through and pull through. So you're going to slip knot and then kind of cinch it down, pull your tail and the yarn that's attached to the ball. Then you are going to do a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to kind of move your tail over to the right so that you have your circle that you're going to be working in. Cinch it, pull your tail that goes to the ball down, and then yarn over and yarn through. You're going to do 15 double crochets. So 1, so you have your chain, and then that's going to act as you have a total of 16. The chain is going to act as your first double crochet, and this is your second double crochet. And throughout this process, kind of pull around your circle so that you can make room for the rest of your double crochets. So that was 1. We have 15 to make, so 14 more. So yarn over, go through, back through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. So that's 2, yarn over, go through the hole, back through the hole, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, that's 3, yarn over. Whoop. If it comes off, just reattach. I'm working with a new crochet hook. I'm not sure if I like it. It's come off several times. Okay, I'm going to start that one again. Okay, so we have the chain 1, 1, 2, 3. So this is 4. 1, 2. That was 4. 5. 6. Yarn over, through, yarn over. 7. 8. Some more yarn. 9. Yarn over. 10. And remember, we need 15. So 10, 11, 12, yarn over, through, back through, 13, yarn over, through, back through 2, through 2, 14, and 15. So let's count again, just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I'm really off. Hang on. Count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, yeah. Okay. Anyway, it was 15. Okay, so then when you tie off, you're going to tie off at chain 3, but it's really this little magic spot right behind, right there. So you're going to go into that spot, pull back through, and then it's a slip stitch. So you're going to pull through again, tighten everything down, and then one more slip stitch. And then you're going to cut that and then pull off your hook. Oh, actually, you gotta pull that through. Then tighten that down, and then flip it over, and this is your ring, and pull it tight, and then that cinches up your ring. And you can weave in now, or you can weave in a little bit. Typically, I like to weave in as I go so that they're not kind of in the way, but I'm gonna go ahead and just keep going for the sake of time. So the next color that I'm gonna use is the cream colored, and this is row 2, or round 2. Let me get the end. Okay, so we're going to start with a slip stitch, and we're going to go into slip stitch again. Is the tail, wrap around 2 fingers, put the tail between your fingers, push off, and then pull that down, and then grab the tail and cinch it down. And then we're going to go into any single crochet. We're going to slip knot it onto any single crochet. So I tied off right here, so I'm just going to go into this single crochet right here. Oh, wait, I went into the whole thing. We're just going to go into the back. So do you see how these have V's right here? We're only going to go into the back V. So see how I only have 1 loop on? We're going to go into just that one. And then I'm going to slip stitch. And cinch everything down. And then from there, I'm going to do a single crochet into that same hole. So move that out of the way. Okay, single crochet is you go through the loop, yarn over, and then you have 2 loops and yarn over. That's a single crochet. Then we are going to do another single crochet into that same loop. Oh, sorry. You're going to go through, back up, and through. So we're going to do 2 single crochets into every loop around. And then when we're done, we're going to have 32 loops. So we had 8 double crochets, which gives us 16 single crochets at the top. And then we're gonna double that because we're gonna put 2 single crochets into each one of those. So it's just doubling, doubling, doubling. So when you finish, count and make sure you have 32, because if you're off, it's not gonna work out, because this just builds on itself, and you need 16 here, and then you're gonna have 32 here. And then that's gonna matter how many clusters you have here. So around, I'm gonna put 2 single crochets into each, that's 1, 2. And then cinch down each time just to keep everything tight. So a single crochet again is you go through the loop, and we're only working in the back loop. Then pull up and pull it through again. So back loop, pull up, pull through 2. Cinch down, and then do the next one. So it's 1 and 2. And then the next one, 1 and 2. And then just work your way around. 1, 2. And then after I finish, I'm going to count and just double check that I have 32, because if I don't have 32, it's better to know now and redo this row than to get further along in your square and it not work out because your original circles or original rows didn't have the right number of stitches. What did I just do? Okay, let me try that again. Okay, so that was 1 and then 2. 1 and 2. And 1. And if you hear my girls giggling, they're playing cards over there. I told them they didn't have to be silent, but if you hear anything. Normally I do my videos before they get here, but today it just did not happen. All right, we're almost there. And then once we get there, we're gonna just double check and count and make sure we have 32 of these single crochets around the circle. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and then it looks like this is our last one right here, and then we'll count. And this last one, sometimes it's tight, so you kind of have to wiggle. 1, 2. All right, so let me count. This is kind of a mess over here. Oh, I see. There was a little bit of a, so when you do your, when you're crocheting, make sure that you go through the entire loop, because it'll kind of look messy if you don't, because that's what happened right here. Okay, so let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So all I'm doing is counting these V's. So I have 32, which is what I needed. And so then I'm gonna slip stitch. I'm gonna come to the original, I'm gonna go underneath that original V, push through, and grab, yarn over, and come through one loop and come through the next loop, and then you're gonna slip stitch one more time, and then you're gonna cut, and then pull all the way through, and then cinch it down, and that'll tie it off for you. Okay, so then we're gonna switch colors, and I'm gonna switch, so we just finished, this is what we have now. So we had this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. So now I'm gonna switch to the orange, and this is row 1, row 2, and then this is actually row 3 and row 4. So this takes us out to row 5. So we're gonna do 2 different rows with the same color, meaning when you get to the end, you do not cut it off like we just did a second ago. We are gonna leave it attached. So we are going to slip stitch. And I'm gonna slip stitch into any single crochet from round 2. So again, here's where I started. So I'm gonna go ahead and slip stitch into there. And I do not have to slip stitch into the, just the back loop. I'm slip stitching into the entire thing. So I'm gonna get all my tails out of the way. And then I'm gonna do a cluster stitch. So, oh, I gotta slip stitch it first. So you go under and through, and then pull it down, cinch it, and then you're gonna do a cluster stitch. So a cluster stitch is, and I'll do a video of just the cluster stitch, but the cluster stitch is kind of like double crochets, except for you're not taking off the last loop. So you yarn over, go through the loop, yarn over, back through the loop, leave, when you have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and put 2, then you're gonna yarn over, go back through the same hole, yarn over, come back through the same hole. Then you're going to yarn over and take off 2. 1, 2, and that's gonna leave 3 loops on the hook. Then you're gonna yarn over, go back through the same hole, yarn over, come back through, yarn over, take off 2 loops. Then you're going to have 4 loops. Then you're going to yarn over and go through all 4 loops. And that's what's going to create your cluster stitch. And then you are going to chain 2. 1, 2. 2. All right. And then we are going to, the next stitch. So here, that was the chain. Then this is our next stitch, and we're going to cluster stitch into the next stitch. So here is the next stitch, and we're skipping that one, and then we're cluster stitching into this one. So we're going to yarn over, go into the hole, yarn over, back through. We have 3. We're going to take off 2 loops, yarn over, go through the hole, yarn back over. We're going to take off 2. That's going to leave 3 loops, yarn over, back through the hole, yarn over, and we're going to take off 2. That's going to leave 4, and then we're going to yarn over, go through all 4, and then we are going to yarn over, and that is going to give us our second cluster. We are going to have a total of 16 clusters because we had 32 single crochets. Well, we're clustering into every other, so we're leaving a space after each cluster. So that's going to have a total of 16 clusters. So here's the next space. We're skipping that one, and then we're going to the next space, and we're going to cluster stitch into that space. So there's that open space, and then here is the stitch that I'm going into. So I'm going to, oh, did I yarn over? Hang on. Let me do that again. Yarn over, go into that stitch, yarn over, and you have 3. You're going to yarn over, pull off 2, yarn over, go into that stitch, yarn over, pull off 2, and you have 3, and then yarn over, pull back through, yarn over, pull off 2, and you have 4, and that ends your cluster stitch. And then yarn over, so you're going to do chain 2, and then kind of separate to see where your next stitch is. So there's your next stitch which you're skipping, and then here is your next one after that. So yarn over, go through that hole, yarn over, come back through. Oh, see that little bit of a white that I got on there? I'm going to take that off. Okay, I got just that on there now. And then, hang on, I'm going to do that one again. Okay, yarn over. Let me get back in that hole. So I'm leaving that one, and I'm going in this hole. So yarn over, go through that hole, yarn over, go through the hole again, yarn over. I have 3, yarn over, take off 2. Now you have 4, yarn over, and go through all 4. And then chain 2. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're making 16. So we've got to go all the way around the rest of the circle. So here, and then we're skipping this hole, and then, so that's hole right there, and then we're coming into this hole right there. So yarn over, through the hole, back through the hole, yarn over, take off 2 loops, yarn over, through the hole, back through the hole, take off 2 loops, yarn over, through the hole, back through the hole, take off 2 loops. So you're doing it 3 times. Now you have 4. Yarn over, go through all 4, and chain 2. And then here's our hole. We're skipping that one, and we're going into this one. Yarn over, go through the hole, back over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2. That leaves us with 4, yarn over, and then 1, 2, and then we're skipping this one, and we're going into, this is our next one right here, yarn over, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2, we have 3, yarn over, take off 2, that gives us 4. This is our final part of your cluster. Chain 1, chain 2. And then you skip this one and you're going into this one, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 4. And then chain 1, chain 2. And then we're skipping and we're going into this one, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2, and then chain 2. And then we're skipping this one, and going into this one. This one looks a little tight, but we can do it. Yarn over, so we're skipping this one and going into this one right here. There we go. Yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, go through 4. And then you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then here's your hole. Skip that one, you're going into this one, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, go in, back, take off 2, yarn over, and then you got your 4, go through all 4, and then chain 2, 1, 2, and here's your hole, and then here's your next hole, right, here's one hole and here's your next hole, chain, yarn over, 1, yarn over, go over 2, yarn over, take off 2, you've got 4, and then yarn over, and you finish that cluster. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 clusters. Skip that loop, and now we're going into that loop right there. Yarn over, go into that loop, yarn over, back through, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2, you have 4, go through all 4, and that was 13, and then here is, that's a opening, and then here's your next opening, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, and then all 4, and then chain 2, 1, 2, and then skip this one, and you skip this one and you're going into this hole next, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2, yarn over, take off 2, now you have 4, yarn over, go through all 4, that ends that cluster, chain 1, chain 2, skip this one, you're going into this one, yarn over, go through the loop, take off 2 loops, yarn over, take off 2 loops, yarn over, take off 2 loops, we've got 4, and then that ends that cluster, and then we have one more cluster. So there's our hole and our last one, yarn over, through the hole, whoops, back through, get there, all the strands, yarn over, through the hole, take off 2, yarn over, over, yarn over, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, before I cinch off, so I have 2 more chain, 1, 2. I'm just gonna count, and I should have 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Hang on, that's 17. Let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so if I had 16, that means I have to take off this one. And instead of going into this last one, we are going to cinch it because we don't want 17. 17 will mess us up. Okay, so we are going to come into this first chain and slip stitch. So you pull through and cinch it down. All right, so we do not cut off this one. We are gonna go to round 4. We're gonna do 1 chain, and then we're gonna put a single crochet into every cluster, and then 2 single crochets in between the clusters. So you go under, back up, over, that's a single crochet. So then we're gonna put 2 single crochets. So you go under, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, go under, pull up, pull through 2 loops. That's 2 single crochets. Then you're gonna come this hole right here, that's into the cluster, yarn over, and we're only gonna put 1 single crochet into the cluster, but we're gonna put 2 single crochets in between the clusters. So that's 1, and then 2 in between the clusters. Cinch it down 2, and then 1 at the cluster, and then 2 in between the cluster, and then 1 at the cluster, and then 2 in between the cluster, and then 1 at the cluster, and then 2 in between the cluster, and then 1 at the cluster, and then 2 in between the cluster, and then 1 at the cluster, and then 2, we're doing single crochets, so you go under, you go through first, and then cinch off. So you go through the hole, yarn over, and then through 2 loops. That's a single crochet. So that's 1, that's through the cluster. So then now I need 1, 2, and then 1 into the cluster, and 1, 2, 2 in between the cluster, and then 1 into the cluster, and 2 in between the cluster, and then 1 into the cluster, and 2 in between the cluster, and then 1 into the cluster, and then 2 in between the cluster, and then 1 into the cluster, 2 in between the cluster, 1 into the cluster, and then 2 in between the cluster, and then 1 into the cluster, and then and then 2 in between the cluster. Okay, I think we've now got all the way around, and we need 48 loops. So I'm going to leave this one on to show like where we're going to end, but I'm going to count the loops. So I'm counting, the loops are the V's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. Okay, and we had to have 48, so that was right. Get that tail out of there. Okay, so now we are going to slip stitch into that original single crochet. So I'm going to get underneath that V and slip stitch. So I'm going to go through and through again, and then I'm going to slip stitch one more time. And then, so right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to cut it off because I'm changing colors. And this is the last row around for this this video, where I'm going to make a part 2 for the next video. So I'm going to change colors and make a slip stitch, and then I'm going to go into the back loop. So we're only doing the back loop again. So I'm going to start right here, and here's your V, and I'm going to go into this back loop of the V, and I'm going to make a single crochet. Hang on, let me I'm getting all tangled up. A single crochet into, so you have 2 loops and pull off 2. Okay, so then I'm going to make a single crochet into every back loop around. So there's 48 loops. I'm going to make the single crochet into every back loop, and so we'll have 48 when we finish. So you go through and through. That's 1, 2, and get through all the yarn. 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Remember that you're only going into the back loops. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 32, almost there, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. Remember, we're going to 48. So then we're coming to our original chain, and we're going to slip knot 1, and then you're going to slip knot a second time, cinch down, cut, pull through. Then you're going to weave in and stretch out your circle that's eventually going to be a square. So now that's what it looks like. And then we weaved in your pieces. Now you have all of these pieces, and we're going to weave those in. So if you have never weaved in pieces, you can do it a couple of different ways. You can use a smaller crochet hook, and you can go in between like this, pop it through, yarn over, and then pull through, and then trim off. Or you can use a needle and you can thread and then just weave through that way. All right. Have a great day.